different scars, different prayers under different stars, but the rhythm pulls us together, and suddenly the broken feels strong. One voice becomes two, two voices become a sound, and the sound becomes fire, spreading all around. Come stand in the circle of hope, feel the heartbeat in the room, hands in the air like we made it through. If you're searching for a sound.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Christmas in July sponsor spotlight. I told you, you're going to see my face all day long. We're just getting warmed up for our 24-hour live stream-a-thon. So I am Elena Rodriguez. I am the founder of the Christmas in July 24-hour live stream-a-thon, and I'm so excited to be able to be celebrating our 5th year. I mean, every time I say that, it still just doesn't even seem possible. But this is our 5th year. 5 years ago, I started Christmas in July because Christmas became a very different season for me after I lost my husband on Christmas Eve. And what could have been, I mean, it was a horrible time, but what could have become a season full of sadness year upon year upon year, instead, I looked at it as an opportunity to create something that brings people together, spreads kindness, supports small business, and reminds us that hope and generosity does not have to wait for December. We can celebrate it right in the middle of the summer heat. So Christmas in July is my way of honoring the beauty of community and celebrating life and proving that even our hardest moments can become something that blesses others. And so I cannot wait to introduce you to someone who has been in my world for years and years and years and has been here from the beginning. I have the honor of introducing one of our sponsors of the 5th annual, and I am bringing on Daryl Snow of Praxis 13. Let me bring him on here. There we go. So thank you for being here, Daryl. It is so great to see you and helping make our 5th annual Stream-a-thon possible this year. Welcome.
Welcome. And it's Praxis 33, not 13.
Oh, I said 13, didn't I? I know it's 33. Praxis 33, yes.
That's okay.
So tell everyone who you are and where you're joining us from.
Yeah, I'm Daryl Snow. I am the founder of Praxis 33 and the host of a Warrior Spirit podcast. I'm joining from Phoenix today, Gilbert, Arizona. And I think you've done this 5 years. I believe I've been a part of it for 5 years, but this is my 3rd year with the sponsorship. So I'm thrilled that you are doing what you do, and I always love to lock arms with you. So
thank you. Thank you so much. And so today, this moment is really all about you. This is my way of saying thank you back for your support. So I want you to tell us, like you mentioned Praxis 33, and you also mentioned your podcast. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your business and the podcast and the work that you're doing.
So Praxis 33 originally started off as a transformational life coaching business. I've helped people for 45 years, and I decided to suddenly make it a business. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I created Praxis 33. And then a couple years ago, 3.5 years ago now, God told me I was going to do a podcast. And after battling him for a little while, he won, and I started my podcast. And then a year ago in June, I locked arms with you with Prospera TV network and took it to a whole new level. And so I've just been helping people change their lives and step into their own purpose and their passion for, as long as I can remember. And your Christmas in July is just a way to give back and to inspire and to give hope. So that's kind of what I love to do. So
thank you. Number one, thank you so much for that. And now talking in your business, I know that you said God spoke to you, and so that brought the podcast on. So one of my questions was going to be like, what inspired you to start your business? Well, when you say that, why don't you share a little bit to people about what it means to take action when you actually hear, yeah, this is what I'm calling you to do. And you're like, nah, I think you got the wrong person. Because that happened to me too. I'm like, I think you got the wrong person here. And it never lets up. Can you kind of share a little bit about what that experience was like? Because somebody may be thinking like, I'm kind of feeling that right now too, but I'm not trusting what I'm supposed to do with that.
Yeah, well, I'll start with the story of how my company was named. Praxis is the integration of thought and action, which is what I wanted my clients to do and what God wants us to do, integrate our thoughts and our actions so they're aligned. And then 33 is an angel number for prosperity and success. So if you take those actions that are aligned with your thoughts, you'll have the success and the prosperity to go with it. And then for the podcast, I say this all the time. Anyone who's heard it, I never even had a microphone or a camera. So when God said you're going to do a podcast, I said you're effing crazy.
I love that. Yeah.
Like this, you got the wrong guy. And he prodded, and I said no. And then when I finally said yes, it was just a serendipitous moment that for now 176 weeks in a row, I've interviewed people to share their story, because God told me you will have a platform to turn their mess into their message, give a voice to the voiceless, and make it a survival guide for others. And I haven't had to struggle to find guests. I haven't had to, people have willingly come on and shared their story. But when you say yes to God, amazing things happen. Like I literally had a Zoom camera, a crappy account, and a crappy Zoom background. And for 2 years, that's all I did. I turned on the microphone and I interviewed people. Well, that led to meeting someone who was he was in the top 1% of podcasters. So he took me under his wing and helped me elevate my show and elevate the things I was doing. Shortly after that, you started Prospera Network and asked me if I would be a part of that. And that got me on Roku in front of 17 other countries. From there, I got a theme song for the show. I created a music video for the show. And then I was able to write a chapter in a collaborative book. All of that happened because I said yes to turning on a camera and starting my podcast. And had I not done that, that none of those things would have happened. And if I take it all the way back to my original business, if I would have never put a label to it and start actually formally helping people in the way that I have through one-on-one coaching and coursework and things of that nature, the podcast would have never been built, And through doing all of that, it's gotten me on a lot of virtual stages. It's gotten me on live stages. It's helped me transform this desire since I was 16 years old to be on as a public speaker. It's now a lot of years later, but it's now coming to fruition, all because I said yes to something that he placed in my heart. And I know you do that on a regular basis. Your whole foundation is saying yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So, if we are given something in our heart, it is to be birthed through us. There may be tons of other people doing it. There may be other products and services out there that are similar to whatever you're doing, but it was created in your heart to come through your vision and your mouth, because somebody needs to hear it in your voice, and they won't hear it. Elena, you and I can say the same exact words, and we can give the same exact advice, and we can do the same exact things. Half the people will never hear it from me, and half the people will never hear it from you. Somebody wants to hear it from our own version of it. And if we are selfish and don't say yes, then that dies within us. And all those people that could have been helped, never get helped. The 176 stories that are out there, they weren't for me. They're out there because somebody needed to hear that message, and it actually either saved a life, transformed a life, or encouraged a life. But it didn't come because of my voice, it came from theirs. And that's how this works. You're given, people think, well, I don't have the time, money, energy, blah, 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 whatever. Bullshit. You have it, because if it was given to you, the resources to complete it were also given to you. You may have to do a little more work and open a few more doors and look around a little bit, but somewhere the resources to complete it are within you as well as the desire. So
I believe that. I believe that God's not going to place that within you and then be like, well, I hope you got what you need.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Good luck, with that. And we had Keri on here just a little while ago. It's her first time being part of Christmas in July, but the same thing. Like, I think that there's going to be a common theme that people are going to hear as they hear how you all, myself included, simply start without knowing like what the path looks like, how to do all the pieces, how they all fit. It's kind of like, given a bag of Legos or blocks, and whatever you build is beautiful because it comes from you, but it doesn't come with instruction manual. And so you're the second one, and you're only our second interview today that really has said, like, you heard the message, didn't really know what to do, could have talked yourself right out of it, maybe even tried to a little bit, but still stepped forward. And the ripple effect from that moment, it kind of always just works itself out. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I see that in a lot of what you do, which is why I love our friendship, because you have every reason in your life to just sit back and go, things suck. I was dealt a bad hand. None of this is, woe is me. And you didn't. You had your momentary human pity party, but then you stepped into what you were supposed to do, which is listen to what God is saying. And then more importantly, you took action on that.
Yeah.
Because we all hear something,
yeah,
but not a lot of us take the action. And that's what you do so well. And, 5 years ago when this started, I don't know, you had a handful of people and you were trying to fill 24 hours with,
yeah,
a lot of stuff. And now you have like 85 or plus people who've come and locked arms with you. You have multiple sponsors who are stepping in to, help you with this vision. And it's growing into something that is now annually instead of just, oh, it sounded good at the moment.
Yeah. And it is. It's one of those where a crazy idea and okay, let's roll with it and see what happens. But let's back to you, because this is all about you. In Praxis 33, if people are wanting to know a little bit about the work that you do there, like, who do you love serving most? Who was that created for?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like many businesses, things pivot over time. Originally I wanted to help women in their mid 30s, early 40s find their voice and step into their purpose and their passion, because women tend to doubt themselves a lot and not think that they can do it. And I wanted them to step into who they're really supposed to be. And I didn't want to work with men like me. And to be honest, back then when I first started, I was a completely different individual. I was very stubborn and very, set in my ways. And I didn't want to work with guys like that who weren't willing to like take ownership and move forward. But over the time of doing the business and healing, I realized that women have more resources when it comes to community and people around them who will help them and encourage them to step into. They're more able to openly say, I have fear or doubt or pain or whatever. Men don't have as much leeway in the emotional aspect of it. So now as I'm moving forward, I tend to want to help more men do that, because they need to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have fear. It's okay to have doubt. And they don't have as much opportunity to express that in their voice. You know, I say it a lot. Society accepts anger from men. They don't accept vulnerability. And we have to change that. In order for men to be better men, they have to be able to be vulnerable as well. And so now I it's kind of a mix, but the needle's kind of shifting.
I love that. I actually love hearing that from you. You know, I know it's been several years. And in the speaking realm, you're stepping into that. Is this the foundation of the message that you're wanting to get out?
Yeah, the foundation of the message is that we need to take off our masks. We need to stop hiding behind, in my case, it was perfectionism and anger. You know, those were the masks I was wearing to try to navigate the traumas of my life and to get through on a day-to-day basis. And in order for any of us to do any real quality work, we have to do it authentically. You know, and in order to be authentically, we have to be mask free and just be who we are. And we have to learn to love that person before we can help any other people.
Oh, that's huge. And that's huge. And I think that's a message that's going to hit home for a lot of people. Sometimes we go out, we start building these things because, you know, it looks so great, the logos and the websites and this and that, and everything looks great. But in reality is it's still got to come from here. And so if we don't get it right there, you know, and that's why I'm the queen of like hot mess central. Like, just come out and be you, just be passionate. And like, it's kind of like playing, like, let's just do it, see what happens. And God gives it to us, and he's there for us. So I have a couple more questions, but I want to share with people, if they're just tuning in, if they're catching this and they're thinking like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of the Christmas in July Stream-a-thon, but it's this coming weekend. I will tell you, there is still time. To be honest, a lot of people come like sliding into home plate, you know, at the last minute. Maybe your schedule changed, maybe some time opened up. So just message me, get a hold of me if you want to become a part of what we're doing here. Just send me a message, easy breezy. And I wanted to make sure people knew that. So Daryl, for you, like, what are you most excited about right now that's happening in your life, in your business, in your speaking career? Like what are you most excited about right now?
I'm most excited about actually getting on more public stages to share the message. You know, coaching is a passion of mine. I love doing it, but you don't reach as many people one-to-one as you do giving your message in a broader spectrum. So, you know, since I was 16, I wanted to be on stages, and now more are opening up, and I'm really excited that even, and this is you know, I'm 61. I had this dream since I was 16. So you guys do the math on how long it took me to get here. Right? Yeah, get the calculator out there, right? 45 years it took me to make this a reality. So the dream never died. It just needed to germinate better because I wasn't in the right space personally to bring it forth. And now that the healing has happened and I'm in a better space, I'm meeting different people. I'm, you know, in different communities, and more doors are opening up. So your dream may have taken a pause, but it didn't really die. You just had to grow into it.
Yes.
And that's what I'm excited about.
I love that. And I'm going to add this little bit because I'm kind of in the same space right now. As you're talking about that, I just did a post the other day that said it may have taken me 50 years, but here we are. And sometimes those ideas or those dreams or these visions that come when you're so young, you don't even realize that that's kind of a compass that's being like placed, and then life takes you all over the place, and we do our fair share of making our mistakes and choices that take us all over the place. But you come to that point where you find yourself sitting and thinking, oh my gosh, that's what it was like all along. So let's go, let's do this. So as you are kind of you know, I don't want to say shifting. You're staying in flow. Okay. You're staying in
Yeah.
flow from working with so many women, because I know that about you. That's how I think we started connecting and guests on your podcast and in the coaching with women. But as it sort of transition and flows, are you starting to build a community of your own, or are you just seeing, you know, meeting other men in these other areas? Like, do you see yourself creating that space to allow for men to come in and be vulnerable and, you know, put the perfectionism aside and things like that?
Yeah, I started a community several years ago. It was just a few handful of us. I actually called it uh, Beer Brothers and Bros,
Yeah,
like
love it. Mm-hmm,
others,
mm-hmm.
brothers, others.
Yep.
But anyway, it was a place for us to be open and be vulnerable and lift each other up and help each other. I put that on a side burner for a while to go through my own changes, but I feel like something like that is going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I do have the Warrior Spirit community. It has over 200 people in it now, as a place of inspiration and hope. Um, so I do see some of those things coming down the road. Right now, I'm kind of in a recharge mode. God has said rest,
Yeah.
and for us grinders, that's really like he might as well have just told me to start another podcast because it would have been easier than saying rest, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm taking that time to. I feel like when we pray, it's us talking to God, but when we sit and meditate or listen, that's us being able to hear God. And if you're always constantly talking or having chatter, you can't hear what you're supposed to do. And I think that rest period is very important to be able to hear. It's easy to take a step and move in a direction and pivot off of it, but if you just listen,
Yeah.
you'll know which step you're supposed to take.
Yeah. I
That's
love
kind
that.
of where I'm at now.
I love that. I love that for you. So for now then, like, if people want to connect with you, are you still interviewing podcasts? Is everything kind of just taking a breather? Like, if people wanted to connect with you, what's the best way for them to be able to do that?
Yeah, the right now I'm running, I mean, I have 176 to choose from. So I'm running some replays just to, keep it out there. And with 176, some may not have heard some of the earlier stuff.
I'm sure.
So, I'm running those, but I will pick it back up later this fall. But they can always reach me at link.bio. It's lnk.bio
Okay.
/ Daryl _ Praxis 33, and that has all the ways to connect to me. So
Okay, good. And we'll be able to drop that in the comments and have that linked in here for people that are catching this, anytime. This is out there now, and it's going to be out there, and it's going to be out there. So I still have one more question coming up, but I do want to say, like, a huge thank you, like, to you, Praxis 33, a warrior spirit. I mean, it's amazing when you look back, the impact that the work we are all doing. It really, it's all connected, and it all makes a difference. I will never forget going back to being a guest on your podcast, and you pulled a part of my story out that I never talked about. Like, people come in and when I became widowed and everything that happened after that, but all of a sudden I find it like I'm in tears as the 8-year-old little girl. And I'm like, dude, like, how'd you do this? But that was a huge layer of a new healing opening for me. So that's why I know, like, it's all divine. God is doing the work that I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today had I not had that experience to open up that part of myself and be good with it. So I just want to say thank you to you for the work that you're doing, because it does make a difference.
I appreciate
so the
that.
one last question that I have for you is, can you share with us, like, why you chose to support and become a sponsor of the Christmas in July Stream-a-thon? Because let's be honest, there's life is lifing, you know, times are tough. There's so many things going on out there. I'm sure that, you know, you get asked to do like a lot of things. So what was it that allowed you to just say, yes, I'm going to show up again and support what we're doing here?
The real answer is twofold. First, it's because I do know who you are, where your heart is, and what your mission is beyond this streamathon. You're about providing hope, inspiration, and giving back to others. And because you're doing it with the same heart that I have, that part was the easy part. To do the streamathon specifically, listen, we are in a very darkened, divisive time in our life right now. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're on. There's pieces that are, you know, if you listen to the media, you don't even want to go out your house, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at things like the World Cup, and you see all these nations coming together and communities, and they're celebrating each other, they're being nice to each other. Like, if you take the politics and the BS aside, people are being actually kind.
Yeah.
Right. And your streamathon gives a way for people to come together, and even if it's just for 24 hours, be kind to each other, lift each other up, help each other grow, find something that inspires them to move forward in their own life. And to not be a part of that would kind of be a disservice to what God already wants me to be doing. So part of it's because of who you are, and part of it is because of what the streamathon actually is providing. You know,
Yeah.
you're giving a place for people to come together, and in spite of differences that they may have, for a day at least, be kind to each other, hope, inspiration, and maybe elevate their life instead of, you know, making it worse. So
Yeah. That just got me like choked up. But it's too early to get choked up. That doesn't come till this weekend. But thank you. Like, thank you. Thank you for recognizing that, because honestly, that's really hope, inspiration, love. Let's just put it out there. And it's kind of like the little match that we can just the circle of hope. That's really what we're here to do. So for everyone watching, please take a moment to connect with Daryl and Praxis 33 and a warrior spirit. Tune in, support, and look at that. And then remember, there is still time to join us in the 5th annual Stream-a-thon. It is Monday, but we've got till the weekend. And let me tell you, people are going to come sliding in, and that is okay. I get it. And if you feel called to be a part of this, then don't ignore that. That's a sign. So I just want to say thank you, Daryl, again for being here with us. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday and Sunday.
perfect. Well, I appreciate you letting me be a part of this, and thank you for all you do. And, you know, thank you for being such a dear friend.
Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. We're going to play our little video, and we'll see you guys soon. Oh, maybe.